Off the radar. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by none other than Red from Another Bad Creation. Red, how we doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Real good, real good. You and your family doing okay with all the craziness in the world?
Well, yeah, we're trying to stay out the way, but everybody's doing good. I don't know nobody personally that caught corona just yet, so I think everybody's doing pretty good.
Okay, gotcha. So, before we jump into your career, a two-part question. I want to know one, what is Red up to in 2020? But I also want to know what is Another Bad Creation up to in 2020?
Well, as far as another bad creation, last year we had a performance we did at the Funk Fest in Atlanta, Georgia. That turned out pretty good. We were supposed to do the Freaknik this year, but the quarantine and all that stuff, it ruined everything. But we're trying to do some more shows and stuff. As soon as everything clear up, we're trying to do a couple shows, maybe a tour. You know, we've been talking with Michael Bivins. We might do some stuff with them. So I mean, and besides that, we've been working on some new music and stuff, but not nothing really major. We're just trying to let it just develop organically. I've been doing like music production ever since I was real young, So I'm still real heavy on the music production. I'm about to get more into selling beats, but I really just focus on my personal projects. But I'm about to come out with a EP from my production company. It's called Industry Riot.
Okay,
And the name of the EP is "Loyalty is Overrated," and then it's just me and my production partner. His name Hungry Man BJ, and with other little artists I'm affiliated with. So y'all look out for that.
okay. Loyalty is underrated. What do you mean by that?
Loyalty is overrated.
Underrated. Thank you.
Overrated. Basically, a lot of people, claim to be so loyal when it comes to this or come to that. Just like when people start saying the word gangster all the time, that's gangster, this gangster, they don't want even really gangster, you know what I'm saying? So a
Right.
lot of people just, you know, over exaggerate, not over exaggerate, but like I said, it's overrated. Some people they not as loyal as they claim to be.
Gotcha. Do you have a release date possibly, or still organically kind of waiting for it?
Well, I mean, the Corona stuff kind of threw off everything,
It
as
did.
far as me getting it mixed down and want to sit down with people and stuff like that. So we just now getting back in the groove of it. It's about halfway done being mixed and mastered. So
Okay.
yeah, all the artwork and everything done. So it should be like let me see, I say by September should
Excellent.
be out.
Gotcha. So I keep up with Taj Mahal from the Youngstas, and you're talking about your touring and everything. He was briefly
hmm
talking about before the pandemic. There's supposed to be a Kids of the 90s tour, and he said you guys were a part of that. Were the wheels in motion? Did you know about this? Or
Well, he brought the idea to us, and we told him we was with it. I talked to everybody in the group. They said they were with it. He said it was in the early stages. So yeah, we just waiting to hear the outcome. But yeah, we
you're on board?
definitely down with them. We mess with the youngsters though hard ever since we was young. You know what I mean? We didn't ever really get a chance to hang out with them, but we used to send messages and stuff to them, and words of encouragement and stuff. We always had each other's back. It was actually at the time, it was like the early 90s and stuff. Like, actually, when Kris Kross came out dissing us, we heard through the grapevine, like through some of our people, that the youngsters was like, don't even worry about them. We got them. So it was like little stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So you brought up Kris Kross. They had their little beef with the Youngstas, or beef, however you want to call it. How did you feel? We're going to jump back into your career, but how did you feel when you heard Jump come out and blew up, and their first line was "Don't try to compare us to another bad little fad"?
Well, actually, we was riding around Atlanta, and it sounded like the playground. Our song, the playground, was about to start, and then you heard the record getting taken off. So we was just like, damn, what's up with that? I mean, we wanted to fight. We was ready to beef with them. I mean, we didn't know nothing else, but we didn't even know them people, so we Like, what y'all coming at us for? And they that whole song, their whole album was about us pretty much. So I mean, I don't know. At the same, I mean, on one hand, we didn't like it, but on the other hand, it was just like we was the group at the top. So you know, what I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, so you didn't even know each other, and that was the first time the beef or the issue started is when Jump came out. They took the first shot.
Yeah. It goes a little bit deeper because a lot of people don't know that Jermaine Dupri made up the routine to Iesha, and Jermaine Dupri was in our family, our circle.
Was he?
But for some reason, Dallas Austin had creative control of our album, as far as the music, and I don't know if Jermaine Dupri submitted some music to it and didn't make it, but I think he was kind of in his feelings about not having anything on our album. I don't know the full story, but that was my take on it. You know,
Interesting. Okay, so hypothetically, if things worked out, if Jermaine was more so involved with you guys, do you think he would have focused more on ABC and there would have never been a Kris Kross?
I would think so, unless he was gonna, you know, bring them into the family. Addition to what we already had going on, which would have been fine because we was down with the youngsters, we was down with immature. I mean, not immature, illegal, Jamal and Malik, and also a group called Chronic. That's where Lil Zane came out of that group.
Oh, okay. Very
So
nice.
we was all one big circle. So I mean, a new kid group. I mean, we wouldn't felt no type of way. So I'm not sure. That's a
Gotcha.
good question. Maybe not.
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever heard that before. I know you guys are, some are friends, some are family members, some grew up on the same block. How did
Mhm.
ABC, Another Bad Creation, come together, and who decided you guys should officially be a group?
Well, actually, me and Chris, we kind of started the group. Like we ran into each other first. We was hanging out on Gravy Road in Bradford Square. We went to GW Northcutt Elementary on the south side in College Park, and we was just real cool. At the time the boys came out, that was one of our biggest influences at the time. Like when we saw them performing and doing videos and stuff, that let us know that we could do it, you know. And we just wanted to um we just wanted to have fun really. How we started our group was I went and got my little brother, me and Mark were the only brothers in the group, and Chris cousin is Ro, and we just started doing the boys step down my heart, and we stayed by a big plaza, Gabby Road Plaza, Stop and Go Plaza, and we just used to go around it performing for folks and putting out the hat, and that's how that came about. We ended up putting little Dave in the group, and later on GA got in the groups. Yeah, so
So
that's the whole
GA is an
story.
honorary member, it says, or unofficial member. What does that mean? Or is that correct?
He's definitely an official member.
Okay, just when I
Um,
look online, that's what it says. That's why I was trying to clarify.
what it was we had been doing talent shows and winning talent shows for years, for at least 3 years, before GA got in the group. Then once we ran into Michael Bivins and they decided to have Dallas Austin do our album, when we met Dallas Austin, GA was always with Dallas Austin. That's Dallas Austin's cousin. So one day we just vibing with Biv. Biv, he comes up with all these ideas. It just keep going. So we talking. Next thing you know, Dallas and GA get off the elevator, and he like, this need to be our hype man. He need to be the Flavor Flav in the group. So at the time, sounded like a good idea, but we so used to each other, so we had to play with that idea and get used to it. But after a while, you know, GA had to get initiated, you know what I mean? And then once he was in the group for good, he's an official member. But he never danced because it took us years and years of coordination for our routines and stuff like that to get them synced up the way we had them. And he couldn't just really jump in like that. And GA got two left feet anyway, so he's not really the dancing type. But that's what they mean by unofficial member, whatever they say. But it's definitely six original members in ABC.
Okay. Is Another Bad Creation the best kid dancing group? I don't know that anybody could dance as well as you guys.
I know, right? I don't think I've seen nobody that could top us.
So we're around 1990. You have your first album that ended up going platinum, Coolin' at the Playground. So you had Bivins working on it, you had Dallas Austin. How did that all come about? And did you guys give input, or was it more so they're kind of telling you, Austin, Bivins, and whoever else, this is how it's going to be?
Well, I don't really know how we linked up with Dallas. I don't know who made that work or who thought of that. You know what I'm saying? That was a great idea. Besides that, think we did some stuff with Boyz II Men. Well, I think they did some background vocals on our first CD, but they actually written some songs on our second CD. Our second CD was called One More Try. I mean, the songs on the second CD was called One More Try and Show Me the Way that they written. But then like on the first CD though, I think it was Spider Man and Freeze, BBD producers that did Poison and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's that. And we also had input on the two songs that Spider Man and Freeze came up with, the producers.
You were probably 12 about around the time, correct?
Right.
All right. So were you and was the group aware of the star power surrounding you being so young that you had Bibbins, you had Austin, that you're working on this album? Or was it just kind of, trying to do your regular kid childhood things?
Well, like when it comes to Biv, like me, I grew up, you know what I'm saying, loving New Edition. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it was the kid group, the only kid group out at the time. So I mean, we definitely was excited about working with him and felt like we was gonna make it. But when we came out and blew up, we definitely didn't know that it was gonna be like that.
nice. So you talked about being a big fan of New Edition. In my opinion, one of the best R&B voices of all time is Ralph Tresvant. Am I correct in saying that? Would you agree?
Um, yeah, he got one of the nicest voices in the group, definitely.
For sure. All right, so you're working on your album. Right off the bat, your first single, Aisha, blows up. Are you guys still in school at the time? Did you homeschool?
Um, yeah, we were still in the school, but we ended up getting tutors, and after a while, we had joined an academy where private school where the same teachers that we had when we was in town, they end up traveling with us.
Okay,
So we had to deal with a couple different situations when it came to that. Yeah, that was kind of difficult a little bit
nice.
because I don't really feel like we learned a lot. Like I mean, they taught us a lot about communication and looking folks in the eyes and stuff like that. But I felt like that's a hard balance sometimes.
Gotcha. Okay, so Aisha was easily a top 10 hit. Can you please, for the love of God, tell me, who is this Aisha girl? She sounds incredible.
Well, actually, that came from Michael Bivins too. Like Michael Bivins used to come visit us on Gabby Road, before we actually started really working together and doing things. And I think it was a little chick in the area named Iesha that he used to come visit when he used to come visit us too. And I think that's how that came about.
So this was a Bivens crush. It wasn't necessarily yours or someone from the group.
No, nope, it was all Bill. Bill mastermind, all that stuff.
Gotcha. Where is
Tune
Aisha today, I wonder?
The one in the video?
Yeah, or whoever the song inspired and the one in the video, I suppose.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I wouldn't even know. I don't even know.
Gotcha.
People often ask me about the one that actually played in the video. I think she's still around here, around Atlanta somewhere.
Still in Atlanta.
Hmm.
Nice. So your follow-up single was Playground. How did you like working on that song, and how was everything going at that time? You guys, the group was still huge. Your first two singles were huge.
Right. Well, we did that video out in New York. But we had already recorded that song by that. I mean, we recorded that song right after Aisha, so it was we had that in the bag. But it was cool. It was incredible doing the video out there, and how the video turned out was amazing. Like till this day. People still compliment us on the orange bubble coats and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What's a better song, Aisha or Playground? What stands the test of time better, do you think?
Well, I like Playground a little bit better
Okay.
because we was like the first group talking about the trap and stuff like that, and people, you know what I mean? Like way back then, wasn't nobody talking about that type of stuff. Talking about really what's going on in the hood. I mean, not a kid group. You know what I mean? You had NWA, Ghetto Boy, stuff like that. They was talking about hood stuff, but you know, you know, we was kids talking about the stuff. So I mean, I like the dynamics of that. You know what I mean? But when it comes to us performing, I think everybody want to see Aisha the most.
Gotcha. Very nice.
Yeah.
So you also had songs on there, My World, you had Spider Man. Would you say Playground would be your favorite song on that album then?
My favorite song on that album is a song called "That's My Girl."
That's My Girl. Awesome.
Yep, and I pretty much lead that song. But everybody is on that song rapping. I'm just singing the whole song. But uh, I don't know. It's not because I'm the only one really singing on the song. I just like the vibe of that song. I like the hook. I like the melody.
For sure.
It's my favorite song from the first CD.
So did you guys start touring shortly after the album was released, or was it after 6 months? Or
Well, to tell you something, tell you something really interesting. We didn't ever tour.
that's why I was
We
looking
was
things up and I couldn't
traveling.
really see anything about. That's why I was asking. I didn't see much information about touring.
Yeah, we was traveling, and you know what I mean. We did a lot of promo stuff, but as long as you got promo in front of tour, I mean, you're doing it for free. So, I mean, you're doing it to promote your CD, basically, your project. So, that's one thing that we kind of had problems with our management. Not at the time, but looking back, because when you go on a tour, a big tour like that, you know, as far as I know, you get paid that night. You know, unless you involved in the 360 deal, which it wasn't any back then, you get paid that night. The producers, record label and stuff like that. I ain't gonna say producers because they're probably getting mechanical royalties off of it, but the label doesn't really get paid like that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Off of the tour money, you send that straight home. So I that right there made me feel like they didn't want us to get paid
Hmm.
because I don't see why we didn't go on the tour. You know what I mean?
Okay. Would you
And
attribute that to?
I felt like that's one of the things that really got in our way and kind of messed us up because you know we could have did bigger arenas and been exposed to bigger crowds and you know that could have kept things rolling.
Yeah, that's it's interesting you say that because New Edition, Michael Bivins, they're all about touring.
Yeah, and that's funny because Biv never let us tour. As
Crazy.
far as I know, like Biv might have a different story, a different side of things. But as far as I know, Biv was in charge of that, and we could have toured. And I kind of felt like for whatever reason, he didn't want us to tour. And I hope it wasn't because he didn't want us to get no real money.
You would think you wouldn't because he grew up in the business himself.
He got cheated though, you know what I'm saying? And
He did.
a lot of people inherit, especially in the music business, they inherit the bad stuff that comes with the business. Some people it's like to me it's like growing up with no father or a bad father. I mean, you could you could have that same excuse or you have young dudes that's like I'm not gonna be like my father. I'm gonna be a good father. You know what I'm saying? So, some people feel like they gotta handle business like that to survive in the music business. And some people don't care. They're just gonna still get money and do good business and do it the hard way. You know what I mean? Or the right way.
Sure. You still have a relationship with Bivins today?
Yeah, we talked to him a couple times in conference calls. He loved the stuff we was doing. We got a documentary that we about to come out with on the road to the Funk Fest. We got all this footage when we was practicing and when we did the show for the Funk Fest in Atlanta, and he saw it and he loved it, and you know what I'm saying, gave us a lot of motivation and stuff like that, and and he said he got some things for us. He ain't gonna say nothing yet, so you know, so yeah, we back cool with Michael Bivins. I ain't gonna say that we ever had a messed up relationship with him. It's just we just weren't really in contact like that, and us growing up not knowing the details behind things, we was looking at a lot of people sideways.
Sure. And he was
He was
very young
one
at
of
the time himself too. So
yeah, he was young at the time himself, and he had a lot going on. So you know, yeah, ain't nobody perfect. When you got a lot coming at you, it's hard to make all the right decisions. But yeah, we in a pretty good space with Michael Bivins right now.
you guys were so big. Dave and Mike were in the video for Black and White with Michael Jackson. Was it just those two? Is that correct? It wasn't the whole group?
Yeah, just those two.
I mean, did you feel some type of way, or did other members feel some type of way? This is Michael Jackson. You would think that would be huge, or why was it only two members, do you think?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something else when it comes to that too. Actually, like Michael Jackson wanted the youngest three
Okay.
in the group, but the reason why I couldn't be in it, and I'm gonna be honest, I mean, between our parents at the time, they kind of had a problem with my mother getting two checks.
Oh, because of the your brother?
Yeah, so that's the reason why I wasn't in it. And besides that, I don't think nobody else really. I mean, of course, everybody wanted to be in a Michael Jackson video, but we got a chance to meet him. You know what I mean? That same day we met Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We had a pie fight with Michael Jackson that day. So at that point, I don't even think nobody cared about being in the video until it came out later on.
Right. Nice. How
Yeah,
how was he? How was it hanging out with Michael Jackson? Was he pretty cool?
yeah. I mean, far as I remember, he was just a regular person. You know what I mean? Like the way he sat there and talked to us and vibe with us. You know what I mean? Of course, we was like real nervous and going crazy. You know what I mean? On the inside, trying not to show it. But yeah, he showed us a lot of love. He ain't never tried to come at us weird because that's one of the questions a lot of people have. Did Michael Jackson try to do this? Da, da, da? Nah, it wasn't none of that. He invited us to the Neverland Ranch or whatever it's called, but we never had the opportunity to go. But
Yeah. How about Michael Jordan? How was that?
um, that was cool too. But we didn't really get to hang out with Michael Jordan. We just really met him when we took a picture with him, Michael Jackson, and Michael Bivins all in one picture.
Okay. Did Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan know who you are, or did you get an opportunity? I'm sure they did, but
I
they
don't
say
know if
I'm a
Michael
fan.
Jordan. I don't know if Michael Jordan did. I'm not sure if Michael Jordan did, but I know Michael Jackson. He wanted us to be in the video, so I guess he
I'm sure
he
he did.
saw
Yeah.
what we were doing. Yeah. If Michael Jackson heard of you, I'm sure Michael Jordan heard of you too.
You would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if they actually came out, or Michael Jordan actually said, "Hey, I'm a big fan of your song," or anything like that. But
No, not that I know
but
of.
he was so
But
focused on his career too, though.
yeah, he was over there filming a commercial actually, so we were just over there watching it, and then I guess somebody from our camp came up with the idea of trying to get us all in the picture together.
Nice.
It worked out.
Cool. So you guys were in the movie Meteor Man in '93, shortly before your next album came out. How did you guys get hooked up with that?
Um, that's a funny story too. We used to always go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles almost every day, and one day we see Robert Townsend out there, and he just see us. He like this, da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. He doing all that stuff. We like, man, this guy weird. What's going on? And he like, yeah, I got an idea to do a movie, and I think I'd be perfect in. And at the time we running into everybody. Everybody got ideas and stuff like that, and a lot of stuff don't end up happening. So I mean, once we sat down with a meeting with him, and we saw the layouts on the outfits and everything that we was gonna be wearing and doing. it was just real big, and it was definitely followed through with that situation. But yeah, that was strange how that came about. Like it was just funny. It was real interesting.
Definitely. How'd you like having blonde hair?
Uh, I ain't like it at all. Never got it again after that.
Gotcha.
And Lil Dave ended up his mother dyed his hair back black, and he ended up going swimming, and his stuff came out like dark green.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the opportunity was good, and the movie was star studded, so we met all types of people from Bill Cosby to um uh Benson. There was all types of people in there. The lady from 227, I
Wow.
don't even know all their names.
So just
Yeah,
in your
but it,
first couple years, you have a huge album, you have the huge songs, you meet Michael Jackson, a couple of you guys are in the video, you're in a big movie. I mean, that's off to an incredible start. Now, I want to say it wasn't even a month or two, but probably maybe 2 months later, your second album comes out. It ain't what you wear, it's how you play it comes out. How was working on that album? And what inspired the name of the title, I should say, the title of the album?
um I think Bev came up with the title of the album. Basically, mean it's about how you wear your stuff. You know what I mean? Like anybody can wear the same jeans. You know what I mean? We was kicking our stuff inside out and stuff like that. So he was just saying, it's how you flip it, it's how you do it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we stood for. You know what I mean? Was attitude and style. Working on that project, it was cool. It was different. We was older. I don't think we got a chance to work. Dallas didn't do any production on our second album. I don't know if it was politics or what, but he put us down with some of his producers, and that was cool. One of the only things about that album, I think Motown was being bought out by Polygram, or they were switching their distribution, so we got caught in the middle a little bit. You know what I mean? On top of that, I just would feel like that album would have did a lot better if we had production from Dallas Austin, and we had the same chemistry, the same thing that we had going on in the first album. You
Hmm.
know, that same vibe. But we didn't have that. You know what I mean? We needed Dallas to do our second album, and he didn't. Yeah, so the album didn't do too well.
So I know it didn't necessarily blow up. I mean, you guys sound a little more mature, but that wasn't a bad thing. You guys were dancing real well in the videos. I mean, I don't want to grow up. I thought was a great song, by the way. Why would Dallas not work on it? You guys were huge. Why would you not want to keep the ball rolling? That's it's really confused as a fan or anybody that's reading up on another bad creation. Why would you not produce it? Why would you not promote it better? And I'm not saying it was your fault, obviously.
Well, I think, like I said, it could have something to do with the politics. I don't know if he got treated right on the first album. I don't know really if him and Michael Bivins had any issues or anything going on. We just was children, just going with the flow. So that's the same thing I'm wondering. Like, why would we try to mess up any of that? And when I talked to Bill, something else that we didn't know, Bill actually told me we wasn't even his group on the second album. So I don't know what happened in between that time, but it kind of broke us up. Not the actual members in the group, but all the members that started it, that was around us. You know what I mean? That helped us create. You know what I'm saying? What we created on the first album.
Gotcha.
But I don't know though. That right there, that messed up everything. That messed up the whole momentum.
You guys, I mean, you guys worked with Boyz II Men on the album, as you brought up earlier. I thought it was a very solid effort. Some of the songs, like I mentioned earlier, I actually was a fan of. In your opinion, as a body of work, what do you think about that album?
Which one? The second album?
Second album, yeah.
Um, it was cool. The
Was it
only
your
song I really liked on the second album is a song called "Show Me the Way."
And that's your favorite
You know,
song in the Another Bad Creation catalog, isn't it?
yeah, I think that's my favorite song of all time. Show Me the Way of ABC. But besides that, I ain't really like the songs too much myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't really all about me or what we was feeling at the time. Really, it was more about the people. Like I said again, the people that helped us get to that level. You know what I mean? The things that they were doing and bringing to the table is what really helped us pop. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Besides our attitude and our characters and our personalities, but we did it didn't come together like that for the second album. So
Gotcha.
that's what was missing.
So it's reported that you guys broke up after the album, but that's not correct. You guys never broke up, right? Officially?
Now we never officially broke up. There's so many different members in the group that what I mean. Even today, we want our style to be versatile to the point where you might see three, four members over here. You might see these two members, or they might be working on something. Then you'll still see all of us together too. So in the past we done had situations like that where my brother probably was at college, or other members was just doing other things, and these two, three members was just vibing at the time to do it. You know what I mean? Not that if what they were doing was take were to take off, everybody was still supported and be involved. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
yeah, we never officially broke up. It's just there's been so much time since then, and there's so many members in the group, so we tend to pop up.
Okay.
You know, different numbers.
Okay. So again, your first album was huge. You were in movies. You were doing work with Michael Jackson. Even if the second album wasn't a commercial success, I find it hard to believe that another big record label wouldn't have wanted to sign you. Did anybody meet with you guys? Were you close to another record deal?
Mm, Not really. Not that I know of. I mean, could have been, but not that I know of. I know a couple different managers wanted to. We had meetings with a couple different managers trying to get our management together. Then we could go to that. You know what I'm saying? Go to that point where we could get another label and stuff involved. But as far as I know, no, we didn't have any labels coming at us after that.
Gotcha.
Not that I know of. I'm sure that we have too, though, like you saying, but not that I know of. I honestly, I don't think so.
Okay. So this would have been about 94 when the second album kind of cooled off. So did you just go back to school? Life was back to normal, or are you back with the tutor?
That's exactly how it was. Like when when it comes to me, like I went from a elementary public school to having a tutor when I was in middle school, and then after everything faded out, I went back to high school, public school. So that was different. You know what I mean? And I even was behind with some of my skills because I was used to sitting down with one teacher with six students versus 24, 30 students in public school. So, you know what I mean? That was a bit of an adjustment to make.
How was it being a child star? And would you do anything different, or would you change it? Do you feel like you missed out on your childhood at all?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I feel like I missed out on. But it's like I don't never regret it because of everything, the opportunity that I was able to receive, and the blessings I received, and people to this day still call us legends. So I mean, you gotta sacrifice, what I'm saying, to get good results and to get to the next level sometimes. So I just look at it as a sacrifice. I mean, at the end of the day, kids gonna be kids. So you know what I mean. It don't matter where you take us to or what environment you put us in, we still gonna be kids and have fun. You know what I'm saying? We just were raised to have discipline. You know what I mean? When it was time to get serious, you know what I'm saying? We had that skill that other kids didn't have when it came to that. But I do feel like I missed out on a lot. You know what I mean? Like even socially. Like, I mean, I know thousands of people. I deal with, a lot of people every day, but I'm still an antisocial person. Like, you know what I mean? I'm still standoff when it comes to certain stuff. And that probably came from growing up in the industry and just, seeing a lot of wickedness and seeing how, people be all about themselves, what I'm saying? They smile on your face, tell you they love you and all this stuff and don't even care about your well being.
So you said you wouldn't necessarily change anything. You mentioned how you missed out on your childhood at the same time, and maybe you're a little standoffish. Would you say the
Hmm.
whole group's kind of like that for the same reason, or is it just more of a you thing? Or
Uh, um, yeah, all of us are like that to a certain extent, but then you still got others that's like, you know, very, very social, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But at the same time, we still all have a piece of us that's like, we got to fill people out first. You know what I mean? We've been burnt, we've been done wrong. And a lot of people have, a lot of adults have, you know what I mean? Growing up, you know what I'm saying? No matter what type of contracts you sign, it could be a leasing contract, it could be anything, any type of agreement, you know, that people try to get down on you. So, I mean, that's just with growing up. But I would say, like, to a certain extent, what I'm saying? We all like that, but, there's a lot of members in the group that's a lot more social than I am.
Now that's one of those situations as a fan, or if you're not like that's something I could never understand. I can have an opinion, I guess, but I would unless I live it like you did. I can never understand what you went through, how it was growing up a star. So
Right. Yeah, but I mean, anytime that we have anybody that shows us love, that grew up off our music, that loved us, that been missing us, we always open arms to them folks. We never standoffish to them or
awesome.
nothing like that. Yeah, we appreciate all the love. You know, you got certain people that like. I love my ABC history, my upbringing, anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, people could joke all day about this, that, and the other, but I that never hunts me. Like, we totally embrace everything we went through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even to this day, you can't tell one person he ain't a ABC boss more than this person. Like, everybody, I'm a ABC dude. Everybody in the group rep that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's us. We love that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I really hear anything negative about ABC, especially to this day. I mean, it was probably a couple months ago. I was in my car, four or five people, and Playground actually came on, and everybody got excited instantly. It just takes you back to a happy time, just a great song. Just
Right, right. So, but like just the singing thing, the bubble gum thing, you know what I mean? It seemed like I done saw some child stars grow up and kind of be haunted by their past and not embrace it. We definitely not like that. We love everything that we've been through.
nice.
Probably won't even change too much of it, except for making sure we got some more money.
Right,
For the
right.
future.
But you
Yeah,
guys are 9, 10, 11, 12 years old at the time. I mean, how can you fault children? You don't know what's going on.
yeah, but back then, CDs, cassettes cost $15. We
Mhm.
went like 3 million. We sold like 3 million of them. So you do the math on that. That's a lot of money. That's $50 million off of record sales alone. You know what I mean? And for us not to even get none of that, that's kind of crazy.
So I know you guys never officially broke up. You're still doing recording. One of my favorite songs by Another Bad Creation, I want to say it came out in 2007 called Hang Out. Can you take me to that time frame when you guys were recording and how that all came about?
Well, see, that was another time. Like I said, we used to break up in different pieces and do different projects. Whether what I'm saying we called it an ABC project or not. At the time, I think that's when Chris, Dave, and Ro was doing a lot of stuff together, and I think they did a documentary and stuff. The only reason why I wasn't part of that at the time is because my brother was in college, and I
Mhm.
just what I'm saying, if he couldn't be there, I didn't want to be there. But I actually did the production on that song.
Okay.
Um, but at the time, I was just feeding them beats. Like, I hear they'll tell me what they doing, or I see stuff, and I always been completely supportive of anything that was going on with ABC. If I wasn't involved at the time, you know what I'm saying? Still was supportive, so still was doing them stuff. But that was something that you have to ask Chris and Roe about that time frame. Then that's something that they created and recorded and brought it out. But like I said, me doing production ever since I kind of started doing production, I kind of been behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? I
Sure.
haven't been so interested about being, in the front or lead singer like I used to be. So I'll just let them do their thing.
Very good. So around that time frame, I remember I talked to Chris Kelly from Kris Kross. I believe it was on MySpace. I can't remember how Another Bad Creation came up, but he said, "Oh, I'm cool with them. I'm actually performing at a show. I don't know, it was all you guys or a couple members at an Atlanta club or a bar." Does that sound accurate? Like something that would have happened?
Um, Ain't no telling, probably so. Like ever since then, we done saw them out here and there. You know what I mean? I think GA even did a song with them over about 10, 15 years ago. That was on the
Gotcha.
radio for a minute. So we been squashed the beef a long
Sure.
time ago. Once we grew up, you know what I mean? Once we got about 17, 18, and we realized, that we really didn't have no beef in between us.
Yeah,
Personally, then, it was just all love, even to that till today, like it's love. Like,
for sure.
you know,
Gotcha.
if
So
it's his birthday, if it's Chris Kelly's birthday or some said about him or RIP, it's all love. There's no hate at all.
good to hear. Definitely. So you also talked about how you make beats and you're getting more into that now. Can anybody purchase that? Any artist, or do you only deal with established stars?
Nah, anyway, I'm willing to work with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing beats since the ABC days. I started doing beats in between sessions while we was doing Iesha and Playground on Dallas equipment. And Dallas is the one that really taught me how to do beats. And when I got my first little piece of money, he took me. Matter of fact, when I got my trust fund, I took about $13,000 and went and got some equipment. He took me to go get it, and I made my money back in 2 years after that.
Great advice. Invest.
Yeah, so I've been doing the beats. It's just going through life situations. You got to put stuff on the back burner sometimes. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I'm just now getting back around to it again. You know
I
what I
see.
mean? I've been through some things recently.
In your opinion, Red, who is the greatest of all time? It could be rapper, it could be singer. Your opinion.
Stevie Wonder,
Oh, interesting. Good answer.
he's my
Nice.
favorite artist of all time.
So that'd be maybe the most influential in your career, probably when you were a kid, still to this day.
Musically,
Okay.
yeah, musically, yeah. With me being a producer and yeah,
Do you have a favorite rapper?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Nice.
Yeah, Lil Wayne's still my favorite rapper. Besides that, Scarface. I would say Scarface.
Nice. All right. So for your off the radar segment today, what I want to know is you hear a lot of opinions. Who was the first to represent Atlanta? I hear a lot of people say Outkast. Outkast is incredible. I love them. But they weren't the first group to represent or blow up in Atlanta. I hear Kris Kross. You can make an argument for Arrested Development, of course, ABC. Who would you say the first was?
Um, I'm gonna put it like this: when we came out, it was just like Kilo and Peebo Bryson or something.
People Bryson. I love him.
Yeah, so I mean, you got Raheem the Dream, you got
Mhm.
what I'm saying, those was like local artists, but I think LaFace did it. I think LaFace did it. LaFace Records.
Okay.
They had the strongest influence and they was putting it down. We just happened to be doing our thing at the same time. I think we did actually come out before Outkast and Goody Mob, but
Definitely.
you know, we're not really from Atlanta. Like, I don't think it's one person in the group from Atlanta. So the way they came out, Outkast and Goody Mob, they came out with the whole Atlanta culture. You know what I
Okay.
mean? We just was here in Atlanta and was representing Atlanta because we came out of Atlanta as artists and we lived here at the time. But we wasn't really on Atlanta culture. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like how Goody Mob and how they was bringing that to the table. We was just bringing universal flavor to the table. Period. As some
Gotcha.
kids, Biv, you know what I'm saying. We was, you know what I'm saying, but we weren't really South. We weren't really Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We just, yeah. So I give that to them, LaFace. You know what I mean? And I
LaFace and you
still say
happen okay.
Outkast and Goody Mob to me is what
Okay.
set the tone for Atlanta.
Before I let you go, do you have anything you want to promote? How can fans keep up with you? Anything else you'd like to get into?
Yeah, I want y'all to follow me on Instagram. I'm under my production name is Three Stoves. So I'm at Three Stoves. You can follow my production company on Instagram, industry.riot. Um and then I got another page on just straight for the ABC fans, at one abc.red. And yeah, I got some projects coming out. I'm about to do my own project. I don't want to put the name out there just yet, but I just want y'all to look for stuff from my production company, and other ideas that we gonna execute as far as in the entertainment field. It's gonna be different things, and
Excellent.
different dudes. My brother got an entertainment company. He about to do some things. He doing so many different things. I don't know what he putting out first, and I think Kris is involved in a Jamaican restaurant or something like that. Dave is a teacher right now, and like I said, GA and Ro, they got some things up their sleeve too. But that's it as far as me.
So you see a lot of hashtags unfinished business when it pertains to Another Bad Creation. So that's basically what it means. You guys have a lot coming in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we still real talented. Like that's one thing that we got over. Like a lot of these '90s artists and these older producers is like we still got relevant music, and that's what we finna show people. That one thing alone is gonna separate us from all these old '90s bands, and you know what I'm saying. Everybody trying to come back out. We
Gotcha.
still got relevant music. You know what I'm saying. So when we say unfinished business, we still feel like we got a lot to bring to the table now. You know what I mean?
For
Like a
sure.
lot of people, they might go on tour and just focus on their old stuff, and that's it. You know what I mean? They probably ain't had no creative juices since 10 years. You know what I mean? But we're different. You know what I mean? We still got stuff to bring to the table. You know what I mean? And we've been feeling like this the whole time. It's just it's so many people in the group. It's hard to get everybody on the same page for a long amount of time, and that's what it takes to
I'm sure.
follow through with a lot of things we want to do.
Very good. Lots to look out for. So appreciate your time, Red. Thank you so much.